Hey everyone, welcome back to the RPGames YouTube channel. My name is Ralph, this is Pathfinder Kingmaker. Kingdom is still worried. I don't know about what, but they are. And not only the kingdom is worried, Lindsay is terrified. We're gonna find out in a moment why that is. First of all, I wanna appoint a couple of people still. We have the ability to claim Dunsward, which is something that we're going to do. However, I first want to check out with Lindsay. But here, for example, we could send a Condio to do some scouting. Let's do that. Kingdom defense, yeah, that would also be a Condio, of course. The curses, the one remaining curse is the one about Armag, and that one needs to be done by Harem, who is currently researching the curse of Tristian, which is going to take him another 66 days. These trainings, I've done them in the past, but since all the companions that I have are my advisors, not quite sure why, unless I'm gonna lose a companion, why I should be focusing on these. Arcane Lobby, that is one that I'm interested in still. Let's put... Blop. How can you forget Octavia, Ralph? Ranking up, yeah, that's a whole bunch of stuff. So now it's time to check out why Lindsay is terrified. Lindsay's eye glitter and her nostrils flare with rage. But for some reason she speaks in a whisper. Such insolence, such unforgettable, monstrous, unimaginable insolence. Okay. That doesn't sound like being terrified, though. What happened, Lindsay? The throne, the royal throne, Lindsay stops whispering and silently points her finger to the far side of the throne room. Did my Smilodon took a dump on the throne? Oh, it's gone. The place where the royal throne once stood is now empty. This is unexpected. Gran always keeping us cool. I'm surprised by your self-control. If I were you, I'd go on a rampage. Shameless scum, how could they go and rob the royal palace with the king still alive and well? In fact, our case is blatant and extraordinary, but hardly exceptional. Word on the streets is that the local population has become sick and tired of thieves. They break into people's homes, bypass the locks and latches and steal everything they can. And now the scum has the guts to meddle with royal property. Lindsay, I seem to recall not that long ago you stealing royal property to start your printing house. So, you know, don't be pointing fingers, young lady. We need to sort this out before they steal the whole kingdom, one brick at a time. And we need to get back your throne, it's shameful. I really hope your people won't go wagging their tongues and spreading filthy rumors. In your opinion, where should I begin this investigation? You should start with interrogating potential witnesses. I think the captain of the guard was in the palace when it happened. He was the one who discovered the throne was missing, at least. Then you should go to the city. I heard the smith was robbed recently too. Maybe he can give you some clues. Also, if I were you, I'd talk to the trader. He might have some hints as to who may be selling stolen goods. Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget to visit the innkeeper. Who better to glean information from any troubled locals finding themselves in need of a shoulder to cry on? What were my guards doing? Well, not just my guards, actually. But pretty much everybody involved in my party is in this room. Like, how can you steal something from this room? That makes no sense. Well, you weren't on the throne at the time it was stolen, right? Maybe I was asleep, but... And our guards are trained to guard people, not furniture. Sure, if the throne was stolen with you still sitting on it, things would be worse, but that's not much consolation though. Oh boy. Yeah, so, there... There goes the planning of this episode. Here I was thinking I was gonna do some companion quests. Yeah, nope, I've gotta look for my throne. Let's start on the main square. We can talk to the merchants here. And then go and find Tristian and Regongar and Octavia, who should be on the vantage point. And then we can do their personal quests, then head to the tavern, and then I don't know what happens. Hasuf, my friend, do you know where stolen goods are sold? How very polite, you do not ask me directly. But no, I'm not involved in such shady dealings, although the local traders sometimes claim otherwise. Some say that anything that's lying about will be stolen in the city and then cannot be found for sale. You're not the first to ask after stolen goods. Many hope to find things on the black market, but alas, it would seem the thieves have their own ways of getting rid of stolen goods. In
due time.
Let's see what the smith has to say. Have you heard about the thefts plaguing the city? Heard, your highness, I myself am a victim of those thieves. Stole my tools right under my very nose. I was in the backyard getting coal for the furnace and I heard some noise inside. I ran in and the thief jumped right into a magic portal and vanished. Didn't even get a good look. I see, so we have magical thieves, huh? Okay. The captain of the guard, where can I find him? That's a good question. Here's Tristian at the vantage point. You've come. It's so strange, I don't know if I should be glad or frightened. Anyway, thank you for finding some time for me. Since you freed me from Narissa's power, I've had time to think about what happened to me and what Narissa did to me. About what she truly did. When I found myself here, without my wings in a mortal body, I was terrified. And I believed everything she told me, for I believed it was she who'd stolen my freedom. At last I discovered that Narissa had lied to me, and ever since I've sought a way to regain Sarenrae's gifts. Do you know what I realized? No one is capable of taking the Deva's gifts, granted by his creator. No one except the Downflower herself. So you were made mortal by Sarenrae herself? I found no other explanation for what happened to me. Narissa's power is great, but not so great as to turn angels into mortals. I wanted to know if the way back to Sarenrae is open for me. I spent endless hours in prayer, asking for but one thing, a sign, a vision, a portent, a single word. All I got in return was silence. I wanted so badly to do something extraordinary. And it appears that I succeeded. I fell so low that even my most merciful lady couldn't forgive me for my sins. I could forgive you. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm no god of mercy. Sarenrae herself couldn't have simply abandoned you. You make me dare to hope that all is not lost. I'm afraid to believe it, but thank you for your kindness. Well, that is grand summed up in one word, kindness. Anyway, I didn't ask you to come listen to my whining. Oh, really? Okay. I do not wish that my mortal deeds will end in deception and betrayal. It has cost me so much. Tristian shows you his hands. You see a crumpled leaflet, one of the invitations for the Kingdom of the Cleansed. I wish to put an end to at least one evil that Nyrissa spawned, and I'm asking for your help in this. What are you going to do when you find the kingdom and the first faithful? Consider me naive, but I still believe even the blackest soul can find repentance. I will try to find it, even in the dark souls of the cleansed. I would not deny anyone of saving grace. Maybe you can finally tell me who this first faithful is, and what is the kingdom of the cleansed. I only know what I could overhear, or what Nyrissa boasted to me. The one called the first faithful is a former priest of Erastil named Rutgerd. When the bloom came to his village, he lost his faith. Erastil didn't protect his congregation and Rutgerd was stripped of his position. After this, he set off for the Temple of the Elk to pray to his god one last time, and if he didn't answer, to throw curses in the face of his idol. Former priest of Erastil, huh? Well, yeah. Put him on the list of people to kill. Like so many others, Rutgerd was fooled by Nyrissa. She pretended to be the goddess of these lands, told Rutgerd of the curse of the king, and promised him untold gifts in return for the death of this ruler. It was she who invited the name of this new cult, devoted to herself, and made Rutger its high priest. She knew just how to flatter him in his moment of weakness and despair. And he, in his turn, did everything he could to draw his former congregation into this vile cult. These cleansed simply will not rest. It is strange, actually. The goddess who demanded your death was Nyrissa, and after the kingdom failed in its mission, she broke all ties with the first faithful. Yet still his followers seek your death. Do they actually hope to return to her favor? Where do we start? I knew I could trust you and ask for your help. Thank you. I've heard that the cultists of the kingdom have been sighted once again, but now they no longer shout their slogans in broad daylight. No, they crawl from their lairs under cover of darkness to abduct people for sacrifice. At least that's what's being said. We should return to their temple without walls, where they once held their rituals. Of course, the first faithful is not so foolish as to return to the scene of his crimes, but perhaps another one of the cleansed has visited the meeting place, held rituals, remembered the past, God knows what else. If we're lucky, we might find something there. That sounds like something we could do. Let's see. Regongar and Octavia are supposed to be here somewhere. Oh, here they are. Let's talk to Octavia, of course. Octavia pensively fiddles with a small metal trinket while she waits. It takes her a moment to notice you as you approach. Oh, hi. It seems we haven't been properly introduced. Allow me, Octavia della Fiorni. Heir to a noble title, a family matter, even a coat of arms with a motto. With a sad smile, Octavia shows you the trinket she was playing with. It's a fibula, decorated with a coat of arms, a butterfly and an arrow. At the bottom you see the motto, "Serve solely my conscience." So you're from a noble family. Could hardly believe it myself, but there's no doubt I'm the missing daughter of Marchioness della Fiorni. Missing. That's what they're calling it. How did you discover all this? Took a lot of work. After going through Janish's ledgers, not only did we find information about our purchase, we found a wealth of other data as well. Connections, suppliers, meeting places. Tracking it all down ourselves would have required crossing half of the river kingdoms and all of Numeria. And we couldn't abandon you. So we did the boring but practical thing, like kings and their entourage might do. We hired a team of sleuths to follow the trail. And they found everything. Who bought us, who we'd been sold to, and where we're from. Finding my family was relatively easy. The Marchioness was already looking for me herself. They just needed to put a few pieces together to realize I was the missing heir of the Della Fiorni family. On the other hand, Reg's tribe had to be found with a looking glass. It's no matter. We certainly paid them well for their trouble. Do you know where to find your family? There isn't one, really. The Della Fiorni family was waning before I was born. My mother is the last one. She's living in Patax in a small townhouse. I'm going to pay her a visit and I'd like you to accompany me. What about Regongar? Did you learn anything of his past? Yes, but he'll tell you everything himself. Fine. I'll travel with you to the Della Fiorni manor. Thank you, it means a lot to me. Alright, Reg. Here you are. Well, we found my tribe. Now we just have to go have ourselves a friendly chat. How did you end up figuring it all out? Oh, that's another story entirely. We looked through Janish's books for a while, found where he bought us, from who helped him. We got all we could from them, but checking up on the information would have meant traveling all across Numeria and half the River Kingdoms, yes. Didn't you just hear Octavia tell me all of this? Like, you know, you're standing right next to us. Yes, so you hired a bunch of people to find it out. Great. So who's your tribe? The Sewer Rats. Oh, that's a great name. Wait, no, that's not it. The Crab Lice. The Threadbare Moles? Man, I just can't seem to remember. Oh, right, the Dung Pigs. Great name, yeah. Okay, fine. They call themselves the Sharp Fangs, and for good reason. They have kids with orcs to strengthen their blood. Not bad, huh? They breed themselves like pedigree cattle. So I've really been sold twice. First by my orc sow of a mother, who took some gold to push me and my brother out, never to see us again. And then my father chose which of us to keep and which to sell to the slavers. Treated like an animal my whole life, I'm surprised I'm not barking on all fours. We're all animals. Some of us just have a thicker veneer of civilization than others. Ha! Well said. That's the case, I really want to meet those pieces of shit and show them what a true animal can do. Are you looking for revenge? Not sure what I want, maybe not. Might be enough, just looking at these freaks to be sure nature's punished them well enough without me. I'm really just looking for some closure, that's all. Alright, let's go meet your tribe. There is an issue that demands your attention. Seven Arches wants to bring their fleet to Novoboro. Allegedly to combat piracy, but in fact they simply can't accept that the elves of Keonan are trading dwarven wares with the Five King Mountains. Control over Novoboro would allow Seven Arches to collect duties along this trade route. Both Keonan and Seven Arches are asking for diplomatic support. I think we should put Seven Arches on a shorter leash. Their most recent step is just another attempt to take away someone else's living. We could also bring our own fleet to Novoboro to steal their initiative. And it's better we have Keonan as an ally. Well, I'm all for gaining more BP. Bring in our troops to keep peace in Novoboro. At least we'll be sure that no one is oppressing anyone. But will the others be sure that we're not oppressing them? I don't care. It's all about the oppression. Yes, move along. I have a region to claim. Sharel. A warm embrace. Thank you very much. Let's see. Region claims and upgrades cost 25% less. Well, that is great. However, I think didn't we do all the region things already? We might have, actually. We can rank up the Grand Diplomat even more. That is all good and well. But I have this this region called Dunsward that I want to add to my lands. So Lindsay, claim it for me, please. Yes. Oh, it's on that side. Okay. Look at this. Look at this beautiful, gigantic region. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What are you gonna do, Patex? Huh? Huh? Belly of the stolen lands, give the grassy plains of Dunsward a new life. Let the crops and gardens flourish among the frightening ruins of the Cyclopean Empire. +1 community and loyalty for every brewery, granary and windmill in this and all adjacent regions. Okay, that's interesting. We have a bunch of... Oh, ashes and dust again. Yeah, we can send Jaital, but it's, you know, not much use actually, but at least we have this loyal spies now, so that we get +1 espionage whenever we fail. A technical issue. A small cult of Droskar in the Five King Mountains is offering to sell dwarven mining equipment to the kingdom. The deal is quite lucrative, for the dwarves never sell such machinery to outsiders. However, there's a hitch. The equipment they're selling is stolen. Why is this not good for Jubilust, I wonder? 25% chance, yeah. What about Jubilust? 61% chance. Yeah, so let Jubilust do it then. Freed swords. Several peasants have decided to abandon the field and become warriors, seeking careers as mercenaries. Have them join the army, Regongar. Thank you very much. And there is an unusual idea. Great. And then King Gran Blackforge proudly said, "Your evil deed ends now. Or is it better as we've uncovered your vile plan?" Oh, Your Highness, we have unbelievably, terribly important news. We managed to find out, discover, invent, well, he'll tell you. I have to begin from afar to let you see what I saw with my blind eyes. The stolen lands are like a cradle in an abandoned house in which the wind swings the skeleton of a child. No few newborn kingdoms have died here just after taking their first breath. I have collected their stories, these precious stars that have been lost in the dust, and I began to notice some commonalities. It's like a pattern that repeats across different embroideries. These handwriting of the same author across all of their stories. One word here, another hint there. False visions, references to a mysterious patroness, lover and mentor. Tragic coincidences, strangely non-random. Peoples and countries were brought to destruction along different roads, but behind them, there always stood the same ominous shadow. And we know what that shadow is. Narissa, the evil nymph who sent monsters to our land and did all that stuff to Tristian. That's not even the most important thing. Most importantly, if you help us a bit, we can get her. Let's start from the beginning. How did you even come up with this? Well, it all started with the fact that I really wanted to listen to the storyteller's stories. I've been following him for a long time and asked and told him about our adventures, and sometimes I just sat beside him and we chatted. Finally, after I told him about the defaced sisters and all the horrors of the abandoned castle, he noticed that the stories seemed strangely similar to ones he'd heard before. So what exactly are they going to do? The bards know how to send messages to dreams. I try not to use it. For some reason people get mad when I appear in their dreams to read new poems. Yeah, no comment. Well, the storyteller came up with a ritual based on that spell. We'll collect everything connected to Narissa, everything starting with her every track in the abandoned castle. After gathering everything, we'll unite his ability to tell stories with my ability to travel into dreams, and we'll be able to enter Nerissa's dream. It's a pity that we don't have that amulet with the string of hair that Nerissa gave you before the battle with the Stag Lord, you know. Back when she was pretending to be a poor suffering nymph. With that, we could have finished all the preparation much faster and easier. What will we achieve by this? We'll learn all her evil secrets. The ritual will let us see her hidden thoughts and dreams. Well, theoretically. It's not like anyone else has ever done this before. It can be dangerous. In dreams, monsters are more terrible than those we meet in the real world, but I urge you not to neglect this chance, King. You're opposed by a powerful enemy, one who has destroyed dozens of kingdoms and empires. If you do not meet her face to face, do not discover her weaknesses, your country will end up just another of my stories. Fine. I'll order you to be provided with everything you need. Get me results. Come to me after we finish the preparations, and remember that I cannot send anyone except you and Lindsay into Nerissa's dream world. Whatever you have to face, you will have to overcome together, and the path will likely be difficult. Oh, just me and Lindsay? Yeah, great. Alright. Grab me another weapon, Varask. Eradicator, yep. At least his weapons have cool names. Nazriel provides me with perfection. That's what I need. And the Smilodon is, yeah, doing his thing again. Shall we do some leveling up? How about that? Yeah, Octavia and Harem. That's not gonna happen right now. Who can we send for the Belly of the Stone Lands? No one. Alright. Easier upgrades. We could send Lindsay for that. 250 BP. Sure. And then rank up time. Who's available? That is the question. The storyteller, we could rank up our culture. He might be the only one that's available. Yes, he is. Well, storyteller, have at it. Culture reached rank 5. That is great. We are now at 106 BP per week. The missing ambassador. The king's servant managed to find the criminals responsible for the ambassador's disappearance. It was a local bandit gang. The identity of their employer remains unknown, but the king's name has officially been cleared. Community +3. Tristian's servant arrested the mischievous Fae and compelled him to repair the damage he's done. Loyalty +3. The arcane lobby is complete. Okay. We have another training. Strengthen the storyteller's skills as a curator. Okay. The finest assassins in the world of magic, a greedy Nexian gnome mage is offering the sale of advanced military magic technology. Given that Nex is always preparing for another military encounter with Gep, it's bound to be useful and deadly. Oh, how I would love to have this succeed. Man, 16%. What else do we have? Ekundayo, when is he back? When is Ekundayo back? In 1 day? Okay. There we go. There is a secret cache in the eastern regions. Alright, that is very nice. So, Ekundayo, how about you deal with these refugees? 90% chance, yes. And... oh, did I send her? Okay, I thought I just went to the next event without clicking go, but apparently I did. Alright. The Curator needs something. Your Highness, I was informed that various political newspapers and leaflets have become very popular amongst your subjects. Many criticize the authorities and some publish gossip and rumors that might be unpleasant to you personally. However, the very appearance of these things and their popularity among the people are signs of the great success we've managed to achieve in education. I don't think we should act. If we try to stop the spread of such newspapers, we'll only be adding fuel to the fire. Leave everything as it is. We'll let them have their discussion and allow the readers to make up their own minds. My experience shows that only a free society is capable of criticizing and eliminating absurd ideas, more effectively than 1,000 censors ever could. Sure, why not? The river freedoms guarantee the freedom of speech. We will not interfere. The words of a wise and confident ruler. Loyalty +2, stability and community -2. Right, so I think it's time to do this personal quest of... Let's maybe try and do Tristian's. The secret Sanctum, that sounds like the Temple of the Cleansed, so let's head there right now.
That is not far.
Curious to see if we'll find someone here. Yes, we will. Great goddess, receive your servant. He may not have been cleansed in life, but he served you loyally and faithfully unto his dying breath. This is folly. The goddess has abandoned us. We're just wasting our time. Haven't you read the letter? The faithful writes that the kingdom still lives, that he will rekindle the grace of the goddess and save us. Where, in Dunsward? What about us? What about these lands? Hi there. Don't mind me being all out in the rain.
Enemy approaching.
Oh, no time to talk, huh? It's the king! Attack him! Yeah, that was your smartest decision of the day. This is a message from the first faithful. Looks like he's gathering his followers at a new location. In Dunsward, of course. Well, let's grab all this stuff. And we're gonna head to Dunsward, it seems. So Dunsward was all the way over here, I believe, right? So I've never tried teleporting, so how about I try and do that? I could teleport to a location of which I can't remember the name right now. Farnhold. Yes. Okay. That went quite fast. Good. Let's head over to the City of Hollow Eyes. Let's see how we are received here. Probably not. Not a lot better.
I grant you death.
As it should be.
So, what are we supposed to find here?
Some other way needed.
Ugh, won't work.
What a bother. I'm afraid it's impossible.
Okay, well, we won't be grabbing that, that's for sure.
Completed.
Okay, a longbow. A nobleman's amusement. Sounds fancy.
In due time.
Oh, here's the cultists.
Cannot hide from me.
Let's see, what could we have Tristian do? Flame strike. Sounds great. Let's do it. Oh, nice. That, yeah, it's one of the very few times that I'm actually using spells. Put an end to the Kingdom of the Cleansed. Well, I'm trying to, if I could find them. Oh, there is some more cultists.
Nowhere to run.
Let's see, what else can we do? Bone Shatter. Controlled Fireball. Yeah, that sounds great. Right over there, please. Show it to me. Bang! Awesome. Yeah, we need to use more spells. Let's see. Oh, it's this map. Okay. Well, there might be some more stuff to find. There's something over here.
Done.
Oh, great. We grabbed all of that. I think we fought some giants or something, or cyclops, when I was here last time. There we go. I'm so scared. For what? Goddess, receive the most innocent of our children. Of your children. The first faithful looks at you from under a hood drawn over his eyes. Despite his face being cast in shadow, you see deep wrinkles near the priest's mouth and dark circles under his eyes. You again. The voice of the faithful is hoarse, and he coughs several times. Damn it. I lost my voice because of endless prayers to my stern goddess. Whatever you have in mind, your cursed highness, you won't stop us. I shall return these people to grace. But please, my king, I have to die in praise of the kingdom. I'm the last hope. Poor lost souls, you've been fooled, deceived. Stay your hand, Rutgerd, while you still can. Akun watches Rutgerd's every move tensely. His hands, usually tightly holding a weapon, seem to tremble slightly. Diplomacy, yeah, we could do that. Stop, Rutgerd. Don't do something you can't undo. The priest bites his lips. You are wrong, my king. I know how to fix everything. I can return the grace of the goddess. I know what I'm doing. The knife in Rutgerd's hand starts to shake. My congregation is depending on me. I failed once to beg salvation from Aristil. Now I must beg it from the goddess. Enough, Rutgerd. It's only your pride and despair talking. The goddess will not return. She used the kingdom, then abandoned it to the mercy of fate. The same way she used and abandoned me. Put down the blade and stop this madness. You are so happy in your ignorance. Do you have any idea what it feels like to lose the grace of the deity you've served all your life? I'm so tired. Well, I think Tristian has an idea of that, yes. Okay. So he killed himself. Well, that's one way to do it. This is not how I hope to finish the story of the kingdom, but it's the will of gods, and of those who worship them. What's up, Amalia? Tristian's face seems to emit a soft radiance, and his entire figure is enveloped in a vibrant golden haze. He moves his lips as if speaking with someone. Chetal takes a step back, her face disfigured by a painful grimace. Are you talking to Siren Ray? Tristian opens his eyes wide and there is molten gold under his eyelids, emitting a warm light. Tristian's voice roars as if a whole host of divine creatures speaks through him. Gren Blackforge, I am here, and with me, the light of my goddess. What's going on? The most merciful believes that I have drained the cup of retribution to the dregs. In turning away from her will, I set in motion events that hurt the lives of many mortals. In her wrath, she took away what once she had granted, until I cleansed myself of pride and cowardice. She decided to return me to her. She's agreed to spare me my mortal chains, that I may spread my wings once more. O lady mine, my healing light, never shall I stumble again and leave you. Look at him. I cannot stand fanatics, but this is so sincere. But Nyrissa and the stolen lands and you. Well, it's up to you, Tristian. It's up to you, Tristian. Up to you and your goddess. Tristian freezes and the golden veil that embraces him begins to vibrate. The Deva's lips are moving, then they cease as if the inaudible conversation has come to an end. My goddess sees a darkness upon the stolen lands. Such evil must not cast its shadows on Golarion. It must be turned to nothingness by mercy or deliverance. I am Siren Ray's warrior and will do my duty, and then Then I will return to her light. You watch the divine glow fade and disappear. Tristian slumps to the ground, sighs, and opens his blind eyes. She's gone. It's so cold without her glow. Tristian stands tall and turns to you. There is infinite tranquility on his face, but her light is with me again. Here. I'm glad you endured this ordeal and found forgiveness, and I'm pleased that I could help you. I was just hoping to repair something, to make amends, and for this I have received the grace of my goddess. And it is all because you didn't turn me away in my darkest hour. I don't know if I can ever repay you for this. If you don't mind, let us go home. We will have plenty of time to discuss what has happened. Very nice. Talk to Tristian in the capital. Okay, how about we talk to Amalia here? Nope. Okay, how about we loot the First Faithful? Yep, he has magical stuff. Great. Alright, then we will return to the capital. Before we travel to the capital, however, we're gonna claim some stuff. While we are here, we might as well... Sculpture Garden, yes, we can grab that as well. There is a mine of some sort as well. +2 arcane, +2 culture. Yes, please. There is... This does not belong to my territory yet. Okay. This also does not. This also does not. This is part of Silver Step. This is available.
May we have a moment of respite?
We should gather our strength.
+3 economy for some gems. Okay, and now we will head back to the capital. Let's talk to Tristian immediately. Hello, Grand Blackforge. Do you wish to know what happened there at the Altar of the Cleansed? I'd like to tell you, but I don't really know how to describe it. One way or another, I walk in Sarenrae's light once more. There may yet be many hardships ahead, but now I know divine bliss. I started to forget how soothing it feels. She has given me a special power, a gift worthy of her messenger in the material world. I think this power will be useful to us when we confront Nerissa in the final battle. None of this would be possible were it not for you. I owe my life and my salvation. I once told you that I'll stay by your side until I repay you for your kindness. Now I promise you I won't back down until Nerissa is finished. All this Nerissa story. How did she capture you? My overconfidence and my foolishness are to blame for that. Once I believed I deserved much more than Solar Frame Goddess assigned to me. Eventually I paid a price for my pride. How did you get to Galarian? I've been traveling amongst the worlds when I noticed something strange. How should I describe it? It was... something had pierced time and matter, leaving a slight trace. I should have turned back and told my brethren about my discovery, but I was sure I was able to find a reason of this strange phenomenon by myself, so I decided to go for it alone. The trace led me to Galarian, to the Temple of the Elk, and right into Nerissa's hands. She proved to be much stronger than I and defeated me in a heartbeat. Before I had time to realize what was happening, she put me into a magic slumber filled with nightmares and visions. What did Nerissa do to make you serve her? She threatened she'd destroy my immortality and deprive me of my divine powers once and for all. I didn't dare to confront her. I was in her power to kill me. Then I'd go to Pharasma instead of my goddess. Of course, it's all proved to be a lie. You should understand me. When I awoke from my slumber, I was already trapped in a mortal body, and this crazy fae bragged her power over me. Threatened me with eternal damnation. You mentioned Nerissa sending a vision to Jot. It is so. Her goal was to orchestrate our meeting, and she knew nothing better but to deceive a faithful servant of Erestil, with a hope of forgiveness. Tricks and frauds are her specialty indeed. Magical fog was her doing as well. She wanted you to go where she needed you to be. Wanted to gain your trust, fill your mind with lies, set you up for the fight with the Stag Lord. She fooled us all, playing our feelings of faith and duty, and I played my part in this heinous act. Why didn't you tell me who you were right away? Nerissa demanded unconditional submission. I couldn't. Didn't dare to confront her and put my divine sparkle at stake. Single step in the wrong direction and Nerissa would destroy the very essence of me. She forbade me to uncover my true identity and made me what she wanted me to. To help her create that flower, to plant it. She never forbade me to help you fight the bloom. This is a weak excuse, but I did all I could to make sure my deeds won't do as much harm as she expected. Do you know what she's looking for? Why does she make all these plots and schemes? Alas, no. Nerissa trusted no one. She's reluctant to share her plans even with her sisters. You'll have to expose her plots and schemes by herself. What can you tell me of Sarenrae? Sarenrae is the goddess of temperance and patience. Solar flame goddess teaches us compassion for the weary and mercy to those who go astray. What would you like to know of her? I like to hear about the history of your fate. There is much to tell, but I'm afraid I would miss the mark, and I fear I would bore you. Is there something specific you wish to know? How did Sarenrae come to be? Sarenrae is one of Golarian's eldest deities. Once she was an angel that had gathered the armies of her celestial allies behind her. The battle in which she showed her valor decided the fate of a whole world, and in her victory she was rewarded with divinity. In the sacred text, Sarenrae is shown as a beautiful bronze-skinned maiden, her hair dancing flame. But her appearance is not what matters, it is the grace she brings with her touch, healing and salvation. Tell me about this battle you mentioned. What was the act of valor of Sarenrae? Her greatest moment of glory is her battle against the monstrous Rovagug, who threatened to destroy Golarion. Sarenrae delivered the strike that staggered the horrendous creature and allowed her allies to shackle it. Once the rough beast was captured, the goddess split the earth and the gods threw the behemoth into the depths. Once it was done, the goddess sealed the pit and commanded her faithful to stay away from the scar that was left in the land. Alas, mortal beings are imperfect. Not even the most faithful among us can always follow their deity's commandments, even when such commandments are meant to save the world and their followers. I, for one, pray the goddess is never again as furious as she was with Gormus. You have mentioned Gormus. What happened to it? An error of fate, perhaps a lesson, but it speaks of the danger when one listens to mortal words and one stops listening to their fate. Sarenrae forbade her followers from coming near the place of Rovagug's imprisonment, but some of her priesthood misread her will and began to preach of a sacred place where the mightiest of temples dedicated to the goddess were to be constructed. The people listened to these sermons and went forth to the lands touched by Sarenrae's scimitar. On the scar that sealed the well, they found Gormus, a holy city that was to become the greatest monument to Sarenrae. Unsurprisingly, after the city was built, faithful from Golarion traveled there to worship. Sarenrae sent omens and visions urging her followers to leave this dangerous place filled with the dark will of the shackled Rovagug. But in their pride, the people misinterpreted or ignored her signs altogether, for they had already come under Rovagug's influence. Finally, the goddess sent her herald to the city, but the fanatics killed him. Realizing the people had turned from her, the enraged goddess smote Garmus, razing it from the face of Golarion with a single strike of her scimitar. Today it's called the Pit of Garmus, a well of pain and suffering. Tell me of this Pit of Garmus. It's a great crevice in eastern Casmeron. The lands surrounding it are dead, soaked in poison. The Pit of Garmus seems bottomless until someone dares to gaze into its depths. All who have dared tell a strange, distant glow that followed them in their dreams ever since. Throughout all of history, the Pit of Garmus has spawned creatures, hideous beasts of overwhelming power, driven by only a single desire to destroy everything they see. Some were defeated, such as the nightmarish Ulanat, whose carapace to this day towers above the capital of Assyrian. Others proved too strong to be defeated by mortal hands. The most terrible of them all was the Tarask, the Armageddon engine, who to this day lies dormant deep beneath Evistan. Have wars ever been waged in Sarenrae's name? Alas, yes. Terrible battles were once fought between the followers of Nettis, Norgorber and Sarenrae in the lands now known as Rahadum. To my shame, I must admit that this conflict was started by my brothers and sisters. They came to a foreign land to make way for the goddess Light with sword and fire. That calamity became known as the Oath Wars, a catastrophe that led the inheritors of Rahadum to deny all gods, banning all fates from their lands. Alas, the mortal vessel is imperfect, and even a pure fate may be distorted by blind ambition, and great suffering may occur in its name. What are the teachings of Sarenrae? Solar Flame Goddess is the light of salvation, even to those who have forsaken by the other gods. She teaches us mercy and forgiveness for as long as they may be useful to a soul's salvation. You make it sound like the followers of Sarenrae will try to find good, even in a bandit with a knife to her throat. Do not mistake compassion for weakness, Grand Blackforge. One hand of Sarenrae is shrouded in healing light, the other holds a scimitar. Following their goddess, the priests learn to wield this weapon starting in childhood. They do not hesitate to use it if a dispute cannot be settled peacefully. Sarenrae preaches mercy, yet her compassion is not infinitive. We give a second chance to all who ask, but if they reject it, if they persist in their sins, they will face the goddess' retribution. What are your duties as a follower of Sarenrae? My goddess strives to see the best, even in the dark gods. She never abandons the hope of their redemption. The priests of Sarenrae follow her teachings, akin to the healing light herself, who emanates warmth and heeds the call of those in need. We aid the suffering in body and spirit throughout Golarion. Priests of Sarenrae are willing to help anyone, no matter the fate of the one in need. Each plea must be heard. Every misfortune deserves compassion, be it a peasant seeking a blessing from the harvest or a murderer seeking repentance the night before their execution. Sometimes the mercy of Solar Flame Goddess is the last thing that can save one's soul from ruin. We have no right to withhold it from truly repentant. How is Sarenrae worshipped? Many worship Solar Flame Goddess in her temples. Some make the pilgrimage to the Everlight Oasis, but even those who do not serve the goddess directly rarely shun the festivities dedicated to her, the Sunrod Festival for one. What are the temples of Sarenrae like? Sarenrae shrines are often open to the sky and to the goddess' life-bringing sunlight. Her light fills the temple and shrouds the parish in warmth and grants its blessing to all in need. In Kilish, crowds gather during the services, so that all may feel the blessings of the goddess. The most ingenious devices are constructed by some of the faithful to please the goddess. I have seen a temple of Sarenrae which housed a complicated array of mirrors, all to direct the light of the sun to the altar. Tell me of the Everlight Oasis. I've never been there, but the stories say it's a wondrous place sacred to Sarenrae's faithful. The oasis is located in Zelshabar, which lies in Casmeron. Pilgrims from throughout Galarian travel there, seeking the goddess's blessing. According to legend, the waters of the Everlight Oasis are imbued with healing properties, and anyone who bathes in them shall be cured of any ailment. Just imagine a place where people from all around the world come together to worship. What stories they must share. What is the Sunrod Festival? The Sunrod Festival takes place on the day of the summer solstice, when the prayers of her flock can reach Sarenrae the easiest. On this day, Kilish blooms with color in each corner of the Padishah Empire. The people praise their goddess by dancing and singing, setting off fireworks and flying kites. I hope this beautiful custom shall one day reach your lands as well, Gren Blackforge. So what happened to you calling yourself the Chosen of Sarenrae? This was yet another lie I was forced to tell you. It was Narissa who protected me from harm, unwilling to lose her agent, her Skylark. I'm so sorry. Tell me about yourself. Well, as I've already mentioned, I'm Movenic Deva, a servant of Sarenrae. Of course, now I don't look much like an immortal being, but once I used to travel among the realms, searching for those who needed my help. How do entities like you come into the world? Devas, you mean, the same way as the servants of other deities do. Our masters create us, give us our shape, and vest us with our missions. As for me, I was reborn from the soul of a great mortal hero. My conscience is deprived of memories of the past life, but looks like mortal pride still resides within my heart. It was the reason why I've lost my freedom and my power. Have you seen Sarenrae by your own eyes? I came to this world in the palms of my goddess. My breath is just an echo of her breathing life into me. My powers are just a grain of her everlasting light. Yes, Grand Blackforge, I've seen Sarenrae by my own eyes, and she was more beautiful than anything else ever seen in this universe. I've seen your shining wings on several occasions. A gift of Sarenrae, a key to freedom, a symbol of our closeness to our goddess. With my wings I could travel between worlds and to find those who ask for help. This is our sacred duty, to heed the prayers of mortals in every corner of the universe. Did you like to travel amongst the worlds? I was too stupid to value that gift. My heart craved for opportunity to prove myself, the chance to show Sarenrae I was capable of more than what I was created for, and once the whole universe laid on my palm. Once. How do you get by without your eyesight? Despite my mortal body, I am still not just an ordinary man. I'm not sure I can explain it accurately. The light has left my eyes forever, but my soul is filled with the shining of Sarenrae. My heart will lead me from now on. Will you be able to restore your eyesight once? No, I sacrificed my eyesight to destroy the Oculus of Abaddon. Of all the mess I've done recently, it was the only righteous and proper thing. I'm happy I was able to do it, and my ability to see isn't such a big price for an opportunity to cleanse my soul at least a little. I'm glad you stayed with us. We all need all the help we can get to fight Narissa. And Sarenrae knows this. That's why she entrusted me with this mission. Everything that happened to me here, in this world, happened because of my pride and overzealousness. But now Goddess herself has showed me the way to glory. I won't miss this opportunity and fail her. Or you. Well, that was a lot longer conversation than I expected, damn. But as I mentioned in the very first episode, I really like the story and I really want to explore the background, and if that means that I have to read a whole bunch of information about a goddess, I will. So, Jubilos threatened to turn in the cultists to their dwarven brethren, and they surrendered the equipment for a mere pittance. Community +5, economy +8, relations +4, and -50 BP. I can live with that. Let's see, we can rank up the Curator once more, and we have 2 new events, Red Light and False Light. A brothel was opened under the protection of Callistria's temple in the region. We could send the storyteller to that one. And False Light. Devious crimes are being committed. Someone has been using false beacons to lure vessels onto the shallow sandbanks of the rivers and lakes. Ships wreck their hulls and sink, and the bandits wait for the good to wash ashore. Something must be done before trade begins to suffer. 75%, 40%. Yeah, let's send Jubilost over here. And I did this in the past and it worked out marvelously, sending the blind storyteller to the brothel. There's no time for distractions, so let's go. Right. Am I going to do something else? I could take care of this. 7 days. Yeah, why not? Let's still do that this episode. There we go. Oh, that worked? Oh wow, that was a like a super low percentage actually. I think it was just like 31% success, but Jaital's people acted swiftly and precisely. They tracked down one of the members of the gang when he came to collect tribute from another victim. They bribed him to turn on his fellows. The criminals were caught one by one. Espionage +3. Octavia sealed the deal and received a deadly magical weapon for the army. Military +6 and arcane +5. Awesome. The peasants accepted Regongar's invitation. They've already begun training. Our people's patriotism only grows. Military +8 and loyalty +2. Damn. And Lindsay has bad news, so we started the episode with Lindsay bringing us some news, and we're gonna end it with the same. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, by all means hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to follow along, and I will see you in the next episode.